Hey everyone, it's Nick, and it's been a really long time since I've done a tutorial, and I just wanted to get back into the game and was thinking what would be useful for everyone. There's a lot of stuff on After Effects, Cinema 4D, all that good stuff, but if you go and you look, there's not a lot of things about writing, screenwrite. Well, there's probably a lot of screenwriting stuff, but there's not a lot of specific tutorials about writing motion graphic explainer videos, and these are really popular in the motion graphics kind of community. You might be making them full time, and you might even be getting paid to write scripts. You get kind of the script from the product manager or whatever, and they tell you, run with this script, make a animation, and it might be horrible, and or you might just be getting a lot of raw data, kind of piecing together what that is. So I just wanted to go over a kind of a formula that has worked for me. It might not work for every single thing that you do, but it's certainly something to play around with when you're kind of putting together a script. So first things first, here's my new logo playing around with. We'll see how that goes. Just some general rules. Keep it short. I'd say shoot for 90 seconds. You're probably going to go over, so shoot for 90 seconds. If you can get under 2 minutes, that would be awesome. Tell a story. And you'll hear a lot of people kind of talking about, you have to engage, you have to tell a story. You're not writing Lord of the Rings or something, but you need to communicate some sort of story, and that story is the story of the product that you're trying to, show off and explain. So focus on telling that story. The video, the animation is not a product brief. This is not the place for tons and tons of technical detail, technical specs, and a lot of data that you might be getting from your client. So save it. So what you might get from your client is a ton of facts, a ton of raw data, a ton of industry best practices. And the reason you might get this is because that is their world. That's what they know. That is what their white papers do. That's what their product briefs do. So it makes sense to them that, the video would do the same thing. Nah. You're making a video, an animation that's trying to engage, trying to appeal to the consumer, and really trying to get them to, if they're interested, read all that other stuff. But this is really kind of the lead in, the thing that's going to grab them, make them interested, and maybe drive them to do something. So this is maybe an example of the script that you might get from a client. If you happen to get a script at all, they might say, hey, we wrote this script and, make an animation. And this is when you have to pump the brakes and basically say, let me rework this and let me turn it around. So what you might get from them is it starts with a big problem, in a world, and talks about this huge problem throughout the world. And then you maybe get to a more technology kind of problem, a smaller problem, but still a very big problem. Then you might get into an even smaller problem, a more specific problem. So you're basically going from general to specific here, and you're just talking about problems, problems, problems. And then finally you get to the user's problem, the person that they're trying to target, and then finally, we'll get to the product and a call to action. This spends way too much time talking about products, obviously. So in an example, and I'm going to use Spotify. If you guys are familiar with Spotify, it's great. Use it every day. So Spotify, the big problem. There's tons of music all over the world, and how do you find it? And the smaller problem would be, maybe they would do a timeline of, first there was records, then there was tapes, and then there were CDs, and then there was MP3s, and now what? And then an even smaller problem, this is it costs a ton, the storage of it weighs a ton, the user's problem, how do you keep up with all of this? And then finally we talk about Spotify. Finally we talk about a call to action, go to Spotify, and you're spending all this time talking about the problems surrounding music and how to get music and how to consume music. And you're spending very, very little time talking about, what the video is about, which is Spotify. No offense to Spotify, I did not get this from a video, I'm just using it as an example. So again, this type of script focuses on problems, not solutions. It's probably too long. I mean, this is a lot of things to talk about, and they probably have a lot of data supporting all of this, but it probably is way too long. And it probably has way too many facts that the viewer doesn't care about. So here's a better way, and like I said, this may not be the way if you're not talking about a specific product. Maybe you're talking about a system of products. It might be a little bit more, it just might be different than this. But this might be a way to proceed that just works. And it's a formula that goes like this: problem, general solution, introduce the product, how it works, general, and I missed a part here. How it works, specific, value prop, and a call to action. And this is let's just get into how this works. So if you're writing, you might want to kind of make an outline that looks exactly like this, and where you kind of just fill in, not copy, but just kind of the answers to these questions. A great way to do this is this app called Ginkgo, and I love this app. It's kind of strange at first, but once you get used to it, it's a great way to organize your thoughts. And the way it works is kind of, you start with this kind of root, and it springs these like little branches, and then you kind of write, and it's just kind of a great way to organize in small chunks. So Spotify, the problem: music is expensive, records take up space, and it's difficult to keep up with new releases. So these are all problems that you could sum up in 2 or 3 sentences. The general solution: wouldn't it be great if you could just get all this streamed to your phone? Voila, Spotify does all that. So in the first 30 seconds, maybe less, we've talked about the problem. Wouldn't it be nice? Boom, the product, and you're kind of into the video. People know what it's about. If they want to keep watching, they can. So at that point, that turning point, you talk about how it works, and this is a very general statement. This could be one sentence. With Spotify, you take your music with you on your phone, all the music you want, it's streamed to you. From there, you talk about the specifics. You download the app, you sign up for an account, connect to Wi-Fi when you want to, there's this feature, blah, blah, blah. This is where you get into the meat of the thing. Value prop would be talking about exclusive benefits to this service, whatever it is, Spotify or whatever. So, with Spotify, we have tons of music. We have exclusive partnerships with record labels. It's free if you want it to be. And so, all this wonderful stuff. And boom, call to action. The benefits of this: you talk about the product early. You talk about solutions for the majority of the time. And throughout the whole thing, you're prominently showing how the service works. You're not talking about, all these different problems in the world and all these problems through history. You're talking about the product, and you're showing how it works the whole time, which leads right up to a very natural call to action, which is, hey, download this thing. Alright, so that's it. I hope you found this useful. Leave a comment if so. I'd love to hear it, and thank you.